Welcome to another episode of Pandemic Apparel. On this episode, I'm going to show you how to sew the following darts: the straight or tapered dart, release tuck or dart, decorative dart, and the fisheye dart. The straight or tapered dart is the most common dart. For this project, you'll need a pencil and a ruler. Replace the pencil with a tailor's pencil or chalk if you're sewing with fashion fabric, meaning if you're sewing with some material other than muslin. First, fold the fabric, matching up both notches with the punch hole at the edge of the fold. Now measure down 1/2 inch from the punch hole. If you're new to sewing, you'll want to draw a guide with your ruler from the 1/2 inch point to the notch. Now start sewing and make 2 to 3 back stitches, then continue sewing. When you get to the end, continue to sew off of the fabric, creating a chain stitch. Cut the thread, leaving 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch of thread. This will keep the thread from unraveling. Do not back stitch at the end. It will only create unwanted bulk. Release tuck or dart. Here I have 2 notches and 2 punch holes. What I do is I insert a pin through both punch holes, then line up the notches. Mark 1/4 down and 1/4 away from the punch hole. For thinner fabric, go down 1/2 inch. Start sewing like before, back stitching at the beginning and continue to sew till you get to the mark. Pivot and continue sewing. When you get to the end, continue to sew off of the fabric, creating a chain stitch. Cut the thread, leaving 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch of thread. Decorative dart. Here you'll see 1 notch at the top and 2 punch holes. This is like an inverted straight dart and release tuck all rolled into one. Like the previous dart, I insert a pin into the punch hole. Then I fold the fabric, making sure my notch is on the fold. Crease the fabric and mark 1/8 away and 1/4 inch down from the punch hole. For thinner fabrics, go down 1/2 inch. This time when you sew, do not back stitch. Just sew till you get to the mark and pivot and continue to sew. When you get to the end, continue sewing, making a chain stitch. To prevent threads from unraveling, tie 2 to 3 knots at the beginning of the dart. Fisheye dart. The fisheye dart has 1 notch at the top and bottom, 2 punch holes at the middle, and 1 at the bottom. There are many variations on how the notches and punch holes can be arranged for this dart. With this dart, I'll start by folding the fabric, lining up the notches. Then match up the punch holes with a pin like before. Mark 1/8 of an inch away from the punch hole. Then draw a line from notch to mark to notch. Like the previous dart, do not backstitch when you start sewing or when you finish. You'll want to make knots to secure the thread in place, then trim, leaving 1/2 inch or less of thread. There you have it, the 4 most common darts you'll use. Pressing darts. Since I don't have a clearly defined center front, I'll press them all in one direction. When pressing a dart on a garment, you'll want to press the dart to the center front or center back. If it's a horizontal dart, generally it would be pressed down. Other countries have other methods of dealing with darts. If you're unsure, check the pattern. The tail end of the dart will tell you the direction. For the release or decorative dart, I don't press past the stitch line. They are not pleats, and even some pleats don't get pressed all the way. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!